has released a statement on the India-US trade deal. He stated, and I quote, "The framework for an interim agreement will realize a mutually beneficial India-US trade partnership. The framework will ensure greater market access and opportunities for our exporters. New vistas have opened up that will further promote Make in India." I want to now go across to Mr. Bharat Barai and Mr. Barai, S. Jaishankar's statement on promoting Make in India products. What would you like to say?
I think it's a very correct statement. Obviously, the low labor cost in India allows us to manufacture many things and export it to USA. As Ravi Bhai said, US labor costs are high. So those industries which are labor intensive, clearly USA will not be able to boot. So we will be able to import high-tech things like Boeing aircraft, the high-tech defense equipment, some of the chips, things related to computer industry and manufacturing. But things where there is more labor component into the cost, those jobs are going to stay outside the United States, and we would have been competing with countries like Pakistan for apparel as well as textile, or with Vietnam or Bangladesh. So now by reducing the import duty to 18%, we have slight advantage because Pakistan has 19%, Vietnam I believe has about 20% or so, and Bangladesh is around 19%. So that may be considered a negligible difference, but so far we were at such a big disadvantage, 50% versus 19%. That was a 31% delta between the two, which now would be slightly in our favor at 18%. The second strategic thing is everybody in USA is talking about trying to diversify their source supply chain, and China is the most hated country. Everybody in USA that I know of thinks that China cheats. They are trying to overpower. So USA wants to diversify its supply chain, and India, with such a domestic market, with such intelligent manpower, so many engineers, will form a very strong basis for being a supply chain in lieu of China. And if that chain moves more towards India, it will generate so many jobs for so many young people in India. So I think it's a very, very good opportunity for India to be taking place as the main supply chain over a period of years for United States. And that big amount of export opportunity will reduce our cost of manufacturing and will allow us to be competitive exporting to countries like United Kingdom, European Union, Australia, even Southeast Asia, Middle East. So just like China got a huge advantage by being a manufacturing economy, reducing the cost by large-scale manufacturing, hope that India occupies the same kind of position where we become the preferred and most economically effective supply chain.
All right. I want to now go across to Ms. Purnima Nath. She's a Republican Party leader in the US, of course. And Ms. Nath, of course, we have an outline of the agreement that we've just shared with our viewers. What do you have to say? We're, of course, waiting for the final agreement, but what do you have to say so far? All right, we don't seem to have the connection there, but we're going to try and get in touch with Ms. Nath. Let me just make another attempt. Ms. Purnima Nath, am I audible to you?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, absolutely. So my question to you was that a framework of the agreement is what we've laid out in front of our viewers at the moment. We're, of course, waiting for the final agreement, but what do you have to say so far?
Thank you so much for having me. Namaste, Jai Hind. Am I audible right now?
Yes, yes.
Very well, thank you. First of all, I would say that this is certainly a direction in the right way. But my first question is actually, what did President Trump actually achieved by doing this, using tariff as a economic a tool and weaponization of that? They could have actually achieved exactly what it is at this point of time without alienating the entire Indian American population and also the Indian in India. The reason I say is that I have worked extremely hard for the last 10 years to support, campaign, and vote for President Trump, and also communicate the Republican Party's conservatism. However, what has happened in this particular case, it's not just for India. Unfortunately, recently he also imposed 25% on South Korea. South Korea has 70 plus bases, 80 bases in South Korea. How he's using tariff as a coercion tool is very problematic to me. Literally today I saw that he's also putting secondary sanctions folks who's actually doing business with Iran. This is the same thing that he has done in terms of Russia, in terms of Venezuela. So I think this is a repeated case. So my question is, when you are saying that you're actually working on a diplomatic basis, this I cannot say it as a diplomacy at all, because this has been replaced by action. This has been replaced by threats and bully. But the bullying, unfortunately to me, at this point of time, it's like if you are economically strong and if you have the biggest and largest GDP, you can terrorize every other country in the world. And that's not America, unfortunately. Now, America also talked about peace. He also talks.
All right, we seem to have lost the connection there, but we'll be back, viewers, after a very short break, and the discussion just gets more interesting from here on.